Every year, thousands of men and women head to Hollywood hoping to become a stunt person. Most of them quit after figuring out how hard it is. But of those who make it, only a few stay.
And role play! Rolling, and action.
The first stuntmen came from many different walks of life. One was the circus. In the early days of moving pictures, many traveled all over the U.S., entertaining families all over the country. There were high-flying trapeze artists, acrobats, lion tamers, and jugglers. As movies became more popular, many of the circuses had to close, and circus people needed new jobs. Many went to Hollywood to work in the movies. Stunts are hard work. Out of all the stunt people who go to Hollywood each year, few become well-paid full-time stunt people, and even fewer become rich and famous. But in Dallas, Texas, there are stunt people working, like J.T. Prigmore and Walter Straight, here at Third Coast Stunts. Third Coast Stunts was established in 1985 in Fort Worth, Texas, when J.T. and Walter, along with friend and stunt coordinator Grady Bishop, saw a need for an association for independent stunt people.
I don't know if there's necessarily a need, it's just more of a want of people trying to train and get together and work out and be prepared for when stunts and movies came to town.
They come here and say, can I fill out an application? I want to go to work for you guys. Like, we don't go to work. I mean, we don't put people out on jobs. We are independent. They have to get their own work. We'll train them, we'll help them learn about the business, but we don't give people jobs. That's not what we're here for.
So far, there are about 7 people in the Third Coast family, like Audria Mathis.
Being able to work on a set is, I think, a very big goal to accomplish. Being able to do stunts is an accomplishment. But there are, a lot of things that I still need to work at, and I guess more sets to be on and more projects to work on is my future goals.
Audrey has been performing stunts in front of the camera for 6 years. You may have seen her in Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris, or feature films such as Hexed and Texasville.
Stunt work is something I'd always wanted to do, and so when I finally decided it was time that I was going to get involved, I was fortunate enough to meet a man that started Third Coast Stunts, Grady Bishop, and he allowed me to come into the group and train with them and learn, and he and the other people in the association helped me learn about networking, getting to know people in the business and a lot about the business and, a lot about stunts.
Directors and producers, the people in charge of making the movies, are the ones who mainly decide when a stuntman or stuntwoman is needed for a particular scene. They don't like stars doing their own stunts mainly because it would cost too much if the actor got hurt and movie making would be held up. They thought wiser to use a stunt double for dangerous work. Then they could be sure no harm would come to the actor. But in the end, sound effects and editing take a big part in how the stunts look on film.
Action. Hey, big face, what are you doing here?
Hey, don't try me, man! I came to talk to Kate.
She don't talk to you, man.
Now it's all be cool here. Julio, what's going on?
It's all right, I'm here to help you.
With what?
With Colista, he came to see you.
Back off, Jerome. They got beds inside, not just for Rudy. And not just for Rudy. Hey, I don't talk to you, man! I want to talk to Kate. You want to listen, you can. How's that, huh?
Well, go on. You want to talk? Talk.
You've been giving me a bad name, Kate. Police coming around asking questions. It gets my people upset. You know what I'm saying? You give Rudy a message from me.
When you're doing the stunts and you're watching the stunts being done, as opposed to seeing it on screen, you're like, man, that's it?
Extremely fake. Yeah.
Yeah, where's all the goodies? And that's where the editing and Foley and everything else comes in.
That's what sells it. We can do the dangerous stuff, but like the fight scene, when I threw the punch, I could stand and throw punches all day and you can sell them. But until you hear the impact, they really don't get the effect on film until they hear it happen.
In Texas, stuntmen are not called upon very often to participate in movie making, and according to Third Coast Stunts, that's an advantage.
I would say the main advantage is the time to train, because you have to be ready for when the movies come in, because you got one shot at it. If you mess up on a set, it's back to LA in no time flat, and then they're like, don't hire them, they don't know what they're doing. Where here, we used to go fall in airbags every other weekend, and we get together in precision drive and performance drive and do fight scenes and just keep working out. Where in LA, the competition is so tough that people won't get together and work out. We're here to help each other out. If I get a call for somebody that's not my size, I don't go, no, I don't know anybody. I go, okay, I know these people, and I'll give them a lead, and hopefully they'll get the job.
Performance driving, personal injuries, and legal reenactments are some of the most common work coordinated by Third Coast Stunts.
It's not necessarily complex. There's just something you have to do it all the time. Like fight scenes that we did with you earlier, that takes a lot of time to be able to step up and hit your mark and sell the punches and make it look real the first rattle out of the bag. Because when you get hired, they don't want to have to keep doing retakes of film because it costs money, and then you're more of a liability than an asset, and they won't hire you again.
Oh, it's quite dangerous. I mean, we take all the safety precautions we can, make it as safe as possible, but there's things you can't count on, like you might equipment failure, mechanical problems, just all kinds of things that could hurt you. And if you're in, like, doing a high-speed car gag, it can hurt you very bad, or motorcycle stunts, or you can be hurt bad.
The whole thing to me is exciting. Of course, there are boring parts, but just the people that you meet, there's always really, really neat people. Like y'all, for instance. Y'all are pretty cool. And, you know, I really enjoy that part of it. But doing a stunt, you know, it comes to that point, you've done all this work to get there. You've done all this preparation, and then it's time to do it. And, you know, you just get this adrenaline flow. It's great.
It depends on what you're doing and how good of a team you're working with. If everything, again, is planned and everything is looked at for safety, it's not that dangerous. There is some danger there that you respect, but you can't fear it. And, again, everything is planned and meticulously gone over.
J.T. Prigmore is the president of Third Coast Stunts. He's been in the business for 8 years, performing in such movies as Sidekicks and The Trial. His special athletic skills range from dive master, horseback riding, and third-degree black belt in martial arts.
It's very interesting. It's concentration and it's work, and there's not a lot of, I wouldn't say that stuntmen are adrenaline junkies, because of the execution and the planning that's involved, because everything has to be safe. If you mess up your safety record, you're not going to be hired. Or if they go, the camera broke and we need to do it again, and you're not paying attention, you're like pumping too hard with adrenaline, you can't do it again.
Walter Strait performs at Six Flags in the popular Batman stunt show. He also duked it out with Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Ranger, and in 1991's Year in Review, he was Rolling Stone magazine's stunt model.
Well, it's great. I love it. I mean, it's what I do best. I don't want to do anything else. You get stuff like flipping a car that's just an intense adrenaline rush, or hopping off a building. You got to take all your emotions and put them in a little pocket somewhere and go through and do the stunt. Then you can be excited at the end when you hit the airbag and they dug you off the airbag and you're like, well, I just jumped off that. That's when people look at it and go, whoa, didn't that hurt? Nope.
Before you do it, it's, to me, you know, I'm nervous. I think of all the things I need to do. precautions that I have to watch for. But when you're in the process of it, you're working. You know, you're doing your job, and that's what you're thinking about.
We're hoping there will be more movies, more productions come to Texas. We have a couple live shows we do. We have a bunch of affiliates that we work with. That it's a big networking system. You know, we'll have productions come up that we need extra people. We'll call them in, or they might have a job where they need a person that looks like me. They'll call, we go out. But we plan to just keep going. I mean, we're not going to stop. We've been here 10 years, and we're not stopping for anybody now.